All right, nice. Welcome back. This is the Will Edwards Show. We have the opportunity to get to downtown Las Vegas and the honor of sitting down and talking to Mayor Carolyn Goodman. And here it is. We are honored today to be able to sit down and have a conversation with a woman who is known to get things done in Las Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, the illustrious Mayor Carolyn Goodman.
Well,
how are you, Mayor?
And I wore purple earrings to go with your scarf and your shirt. This is wonderful.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to come into your office. And what a beautiful office and view you have.
Isn't it fabulous? Everything over here, you can see it's something that's been happening over these past 12 years. We're really exciting. And of course, out the other way as well, some of our high rises that have been built. So it's a very exciting time to be in Las Vegas.
I agree with you, but let's take it back a little bit, okay?
Ooh, how far back?
Let me paint this picture. 1964, you and your husband, basically newlyweds, left Philadelphia for Las Vegas. How did you come up with that one?
I'll tell you, I mean, we looked at each other as we came in over Railroad Pass on the way down from the dam, and it was 120 in August. And my parents had said to me early on, don't marry this guy. He's a bit nuts and he won't amount to a thing. And I looked at him as I looked down at what was Las Vegas in '64. As far as the eye could see, rolling sagebrush and desert.
Wow.
And a few scattered buildings, which happened to be the Strip and Fremont Street. And so, but actually it was because all of our family was back east and we wanted to try something new. We were young and newly married and thought, you know, let's go someplace really different. And so Oscar had just finished law school and I typed 200, not computer generated, typed 200 letters that we sent around the country. And we decided on two choices. One was Heppner, Oregon, because I'm passionate about horses and they have a great rodeo. Nice. And the second was Las Vegas, Nevada. And we chose Las Vegas because Oscar was offered a position with the DA's office in Las Vegas. So we knew we at least had one salary income if we came here. Well, less than 80,000 people, I might tell you.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you came here and didn't go to Oregon. I'm just saying.
Me too. Me too.
So if we go back, right, to that time period, there you are, you're standing, you're looking at the brush. Wouldn't you have ever thought that you would be the mayor of this phenomenal city?
Never. In a million years. I grew up in the heart of Manhattan before I met my husband at college. And you're a little grain of sand there. And you really, I mean, you stand in line for football tickets or baseball tickets or Carnegie Hall, whatever it was. And so to come out to a place where you could do something that would make a difference yourself, I mean, just feeling good about what you're doing. Never in a million years. I had no political aspirations, nor did my husband. And it was just sort of putting one foot in front of the other, knowing full well one day we would have a family, but not then. And I went to work at the Riviera Hotel in advertising and publicity. And then from there, I went over to the Caesars Palace in 1966, right after it opened. And of course, having read one of 5 copies that were given to us of The Green Felt Jungle, talked about the excitement of Las Vegas and the mob and organized crime and what it was like here. Again, my parents pushing, don't move there, don't marry this guy. And it's a great read. It's out of print, of course, now, but it is a great read, and I would recommend it to anybody to get a flavor of what was in the old days here.
I'm gonna read that. I'm taking your recommendation.
And then you'll really come back here and love it.
Exactly. Well, let's fast forward a little bit.
Yes.
So here you are. You're the founder. You're running the Meadow School.
Correct.
Okay. So you're running the Meadow School, and then someone says, "Hey, well, you want to be the mayor?"
Well, no.
Oh, okay.
I am married to a very self-effacing, non-media attuned individual. Wrong. He loves to have his face in front of every person with a pencil or a pen. TV time is glorious. In fact, he'd rather be sitting here right now. And what happened was we did have 4 children. And I could see what was happening in town, that we needed to have some other type of education. And having had a very good one, I think that was what my husband and I both had the best of educations through no fault of our own. I got involved, spent 25 years every day of my life trying to build this pre-K through 12th grade college preparatory school. Right. Oscar, meanwhile, had spent 35 years in criminal law, representing some of the most interesting characters in the world. And in fact, he's written a memoir. It's called Being Oscar. Love it. And it's just come to print about 3 months ago. But it talks about some of those 18 cases he had, very colorful cases. And then he, after 35 years, he said, you know, I'm really bored. This is enough. I've been doing it. I've made law. I've traveled the country. I've done more jury trials than most attorneys who are litigators ever. No. And what do you think I should do? And I said, well, why don't you teach law? Nah, that's boring. Fast forward, he decided to run for mayor. Wow. And the article, the local newspaper had in solid print and an editorial, anybody but Oscar. So it was just a real push, but he really did very well. And so well that in his second term, your 3 4-year terms is what you have. Mm-hmm. His second term, he received 86% of the vote. Wow. And the third term, 84%. And he's still looking for those 16%. But anyway, he ran, and he was so depressed. He designed, helped with the architecture and the design, the architect and the planning, our city staff and our council, designing this brand new building that you're sitting in right now, and was very much the instigator, the visionary for what's been happening downtown. But it became evident that he was termed out in the 12 years. Right. So my family of 4 grown children now, and my husband put on a full court press and said, you have to run and follow up what I've been working on so genuinely and earnestly to help this city. It's been very blighted. Right. And I thought, I've just retired from the school. I'm going to have fun and peace and quiet. And then 17 people filed. 17 very well-meaning people filed to become mayor behind my husband, which, if you heard our dinner conversations, he picked each one of them to shreds. And the children, when they would come over for dinner, said, Mom, they're not going to want this city to be known as Oscar Goodman's revitalization. They're going to want it in their own image. Then got the seat. With a little help from the Goodman name, I absolutely agree with that. But it is no wonder my husband loved it. We have the greatest people here. Such an effort by so many of them to volunteer and do the things that the federal government is no longer able to fund. I mean, it's just a great community, very resilient. You punch them in the belly and they fall down, they get right back up. Yeah, yeah. Right back up. And so everything that we're doing here is really putting us finally on the map as a class city. Behind us, off over here, and I don't know if it will show, is our brand new Smith Center Performing Arts. Beautiful. Unbelievable, and we have shows that are brought in, and orchestras and operas, everything coming in and visiting us as they tour the world. In addition to that, I mean, there's so many. We have some of our local artists singing and performing, our Nevada Ballet, our own Philharmonic. But in addition to that, right over here, we have the Cleveland Clinic Lou Rufo Brain Institute, yes, which is a whole area that we've really begun to see a little bit of medical tourism.
It's phenomenal.
But the building is a Frank Gehry designed building,
yes,
and you look at it and you think, oh my, what a strange thing. It's looks like a crumpled piece of paper. And to be perfectly honest, when Frank Gehry was first talking about maybe coming here to be part of the Larry Ruvo hope to have this Cleveland Clinic, Lou Ruvo, his father, who passed away, he took a piece of paper and he scrunched it and he threw it down and he said, that's what I think I see this building. Wow. And that's exactly what he designed. And then behind there also is our World Market Center, which is furniture and accessories, and they're joint ventured with High Point, North Carolina, and putting on wholesale shows. And then, of course, we have the top discount mall in the country, the premium outlets over here.
Yes.
We've been so successful you can't even get a parking space there. And, you know, top designer names, but discount. And they're expanding with 36 new stores now.
Awesome. That's
so
awesome.
it's just, and then we have the magnificent county building. So we're in a row, the county, the city government building, and our justice building, and then the federal courthouse and the immigration building. So it's one continuum of government. In fact, we have a zip line that goes from each building one to the next.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot happening downtown, and that's obvious that it is attributed to Oscar and then you coming in and following up. Let me ask you this last question. What do you wish in 5 years for the city of Las Vegas? What do you wish for?
Well, certainly I have enjoyed the domino effect of everything that was planned as we opened our Mob Museum and our Neon Museum. So much is going on. What I really want to see and what I campaigned on was I wanted to see film tax credits here in the state, which we had none.
Right.
Unfortunately, because of our Senator Aaron Ford and so many other people, we now have film tax credits. I see us being a mecca for film because taxes are so high in California, plus personal income tax. We have neither personal income tax nor corporate tax, actually, and no estate tax here. Right. It's an hour away by plane and certainly an easy drive and a perfect venue for the film. My second campaign piece was, aside from continuing on what Oscar had envisioned, was IT, developing IT, which of course is ethereal and up there, so it sort of can be anywhere. Right. But we have the wonderful Nellis Air Force Base in Creech, and as you know, drones are out there. Yep. So tech was a very next big piece to me. And fashion, I wanted to go into the fashion industry, which is just now beginning. In fact, a gentleman by the name of David Tupaz, who is local, made this for me.
Very nice.
And I didn't realize I had you today, and so I wore it because I loved it.
And I think that you're doing a phenomenal job, and the great thing is that you can see it happening, and I think that it is a very exciting time to be here in Las Vegas.
And the interest from around the world, I cannot tell you, of investors, people seeing the advantage most of the time of our great weather. It's a great place to live, and you can go get food at 2 in the morning if you want, anywhere. Sure. And we have a great life, those of us who live out in the communities. The Strip's great, and it's been the best year in tourism we've ever had, despite the end of the recession.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Well, thank you for taking the time.
Pleasure.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you
being
so much.
here. We'll be right back right after this.